Hello and welcome to this video. This video was produced for the Teaching Subject Mastery module for the PME in Hibernia College, Ireland. In this video, we will look at how a teacher in the Irish secondary school educational system might go about teaching the topic of heat. The topic of heat can be broken down into two sections, heat transfer and the measuring of heat. Heat transfer involves how heat spreads. This can happen in three different methods: conduction, convection, and radiation. The other section in the topic of heat is measuring your heat. In this section, the students will learn about heat capacities, specific heat capacities, latent heat, and specific latent heat. These are all the characteristics of substances that will be investigated in theory and in practice. How one might go about teaching the topic of heat is discussed later in this video. This video is aimed at teachers who have to teach 5th year or higher level physics students the topic of heat. When starting a new topic, it is important to know what the students may already know that is linked to the topic. As the students are in a 5th year or higher level physics class, they should already know the following. They should know the difference between heat and temperature. They should know how to measure temperature and recognize the relevant units involved in temperature. And they should also know and be aware of the concept of energy and the law of conservation of energy. Learning intentions are important when designing a class plan. For the topic of heat and the section of heat transfer, the learning intentions should be something similar to this. The students should be able to recognize and classify the different types of heat transfer. They should also be able to develop an understanding of how and where heat transfer occurs in everyday life for the student. For the section of the measuring of heat, the learning intentions should be similar to the following. Students should be able to explore and identify properties of heat, such as specific heat capacity and latent heat. Recognize and compare specific heat capacity, and latent heat. They should also be able to evaluate and calculate properties of substances such as specific heat capacity and latent heat. Now that the learning intentions have been set, the focus should now be shifted onto what the students may find difficult with the classes. All classes face difficulty. Some of these difficulties are shared amongst all the subjects. One of these is keeping the students motivated throughout the class. Some difficulties are subject exclusive. In the topic of heat, for example, students may find distinguishing between heat capacity and latent heat to be difficult. They may also find that recognizing and remembering the relevant units to be troublesome. For the practical classes, some groups of students may not be able to generate adequate data and would therefore not be able to complete worksheets. Techniques to overcome these issues are discussed next. Actions that the teacher can take which will lead to an improvement in student motivation levels can include improving your demeanour by being more enthusiastic and energetic. It has also been found that having a good relationship with the students can also be beneficial to their motivation levels. More techniques for improving student motivation levels might include grouping students into mixed ability groups. This ensures that all groups can progress evenly and that no one group is left behind. The use of active learning methodologies such as fishbowl and student-generated questions will work to make the students engage more as they have a sense of ownership. One might also make use of ICT in the classroom. For the topic of heat, for example, all students would enjoy a video on firewalking, which could then be used to explain heat capacity in an enjoyable manner. To overcome the difficulties students face with distinguishing between terms used in the topic of heat, such as latent heat and heat capacity, one might keep a display of all keywords used and their meaning in a place where students can access them at all times during the class. This could be on the board or on top of question sheets. This idea isn't just limited to dealing with new terms, but could also be expanded to include units and symbols relevant to the topic heat. For the practical classes, it is advised to have pre-prepared sheets with workable data on them in case any group failed to produce suitable data. One could also display data from a successful group's experiment on the board, so that groups who fail to get data have something to work with. Now that the possible difficulties that students may encounter have been identified and overcome, attention should be placed on the class structure and layout. Ideally, theory classes should occur before practicals, so the students have a basic understanding of the principles involved in the experiments. Theory classes should begin with a hook to keep students engaged, then the main body which involves active learning methodologies before concluding with summation of content and feedback. For the topic heat, there are three mandatory experiments. For these experiments, students should be arranged into mixed ability groups to ensure even progress from each group. Equipment that the students are unfamiliar with should be introduced to them and an explanation of the purpose is told. In the case of the heat experiments, the joule meter and the steam trap should be introduced to them before the starting of the experiments. Also, instructions should leave some room to allow for exploratory learning. Differentiation is an important part of any good class. Differentiation techniques that are suitable for the teaching of the topic of heat might consist of keeping Bloom's taxonomy in mind when producing question sheets and in-class questions. An example of a lower order question would be, which hurts more, hot air or a hot drink? A higher order question might go like, what is the difference between heat capacity and specific heat capacity? Other techniques include mixed ability student groups and the use of ICT in the classroom. All these techniques are used to reach as many unique learners as possible. Assessment of progress is also an important part of any good class. Assessment techniques that are suitable for the teaching of the topic of heat might consist of the observation of classwork in theory classes and practical classes, the use of mini whiteboards in class, and 1-minute papers by the students. These 1-minute papers consist of the students writing down what they found most difficult in the class. Now that the basics of how to teach the topic of heat to 5th year high level students has been covered, it is important to know that even the best prepared plan can go out the window once we step inside the classroom door. This is what teaching is all about, overcoming challenges and giving our students the greatest opportunity we can. Now that we are at the end of the video, I hope you found it useful and I wish you the best of luck.